good, yo? Welcome back to my review for this week's episode of Hiroaka Vigilantes, the first episode of Season 2, ladies and gentlemen, which is technically Core 2, but they're calling it Season 2, so fuck, we're gonna call it Season 2. I guess they're now just calling Second Core Seasons now. Okay, I'm curious when the actual Season 2 will actually air, if that one will be called Season 3 or will be called Season 2 again, or I don't know, we'll have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, man, we are back with Vigilantes, man. Another great episode, man, to start off the season, man. And yeah, but yeah, I was about to jump ahead, but I was about to jump ahead, talk about the OPD, but I was like, I'm gonna hold off on that until we get to that part of the episode, man. So without further ado, guys, let's just jump right in. So we start the episode off with some narration from Koichi. That's a glorified world salad of like our world is a superhero society with 80% of the population have quirks, along with some other stuff about vigilantes are a thing and you need society's blessing, man. It was fine for what it was, man. Glorified recap. Well, we have like a bunch of like footage recapping season 1 to give us a quite quick recap of everything that went down, and then we get to the OP. Now, you guys remember how much I adored the OP from season 1, which was directed by the series director, if I remember correctly, Kenichi Suzuki. If I remember, who also did the season 6 OP, that one that was like all comic book inspired, which you guys know I adored that OP as well. Who's now the series director, for Vigilante. So you guys know I was like, I love that OP, man. I love this comic book aesthetics, man. And I said in that video that he should be the only person touching the OPs from here on out. Obviously, that was not the case, as this one was actually storyboarded, directed, as well as solo key anime by Hironori Tanaka, if I'm pronouncing his name right. Never heard of this animator, man. But this was a solid OP on its own. Like I said, it's not as good as season 1's, both visually as well, both from a song perspective or even visually, man. Which but both are, but it's not bad. The song's pretty good, man. I like the song, man. And once again, the comic book it says here, our return here, man, and it is just gorgeous, man. Like, it really leads into the comic book aesthetic with this one, man, and it just looks beautiful, dude. I love the way the colors are kind of like glowing kind of thing, man, and how pronounced they are. This one like leads way more into the comic book aesthetic than I would say the first one did, man. And like, there's some really nice visuals here that I would honestly probably maybe put over the first OP, but overall I would definitely say the first OP clears this one in every margin. But this is still an incredible OP in its own right, man, and I love the visuals of him, and the song's pretty good too. And yeah, really good. So this is like the last shot of Koichi, man, with his shoes glowing and like the comic book aesthetic. I mean, like, I hope this is something that sticks around for all of Vigilantes, man. For the rest of the series, man, we get to see this comic book aesthetic of it, man. This stays with it, man, for the rest of the series, because I love it. Hopefully next time we're back to next time when we get back to season 3, Kenichi is back directing these, man, because like I said, he should be the only one directing this, man. Let's Haruka Ida wants to take a crack at it, please let her go at it, man. But we'll have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, amazing OP in its own right, man, but not as good as season 1's. So when we get to the title card, this time it's no secret identity. It's not the one that they're showing up. We get back to the scrubs, man, the other items we saw from season 1, man. Unfortunately, the band is not here, man. We do get to see the leader chick in there, man, with the rest of her crew in their gym clothes. I was kind of hoping the band would be there with them, and we get something more with those two, because I actually I really enjoyed those two from season, but unfortunately, he was not present during the part. So they're basically doing some training, man, running this track, and the twins are at it, man, getting their stretches in, man. They're kind of like the crowd, the rest of the crowd, the other ones in there have already gone on the trip while they're still stretching. I don't know if it's because like her ankle is still fucked up a little bit, man, and they're like really making sure she doesn't like twist it again or make sure she's working, or they just they just got here before and they just got here after everyone else, so they were just so they just went ahead, man. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, they're doing their stretching, and we find out that actually Pop is now going on tour to Osaka to go for this tour of independent idols. So she's going over to this mall over in Osaka alongside with Koichi. And of course, one of the twins is pissed. So like, oh, I want to go on tour to Osaka, blah 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 blah. And she saw the whole thing, man. She goes about Koichi getting bentos and the trains leaving after him, man. And the other twin is like, oh, I think that you're a But then we see Koichi at the battle station, and after he finishes buying the bentos, the train starts running away after him, or rather running without him, excuse me, as Koichi's desperately trying to catch up with a fucking bullet train, which obviously does not go as planned. So Pop calls up Makoto about the whole thing, man, and they're kind of going on. She's obviously surprised that Koichi missed the train, excuse me, and she's like, yeah, I got the E-tickets, everything's fine. If he doesn't show up to this train, I can go to the venue. If I go to Osaka from here, and if I get to the venue before him, I can just go right ahead if he doesn't get to the train station by then. And then the train gets to its next stop, where we see that Koichi is already there waiting for Pop. And of course, Pop is absolutely flabbergasted that Koichi somehow was able to catch up to a bullet train, this quickly. She asked him to be like just right after, obviously he does, and then we find out that Koichi's quirk has awakened once again. I don't know if these are if anyone knows for certain if these count as quirk awakenings or not, because I'm not 100% sure these are technically quirk awakenings, because like I said, he always had apparently the ability to fly, but he just forgot how to because of his mom, so but then again, I'm pretty sure this new stuff, with him being able to stick to walls and whatnot, man, that's new. So I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure if this counts as a quirk awakening or not. But whatever the case may be, Koichi explains that while he was right there, man, while he was trying to chase after man, he jumped into the air, landed on the train, and was able to stick to it like Spider-Man. I had to do the tokusatsu version. But yeah, so now Koichi can now stick to walls. Whether he is, he doesn't know if he's sticking to it magnets or if it's more like a suction cup sort of thing. He doesn't know for sure, but all he does know is that now he can stick to walls like Spider-Man, which obviously is pretty fucking cool. So Koichi explains to Pop that's kind of like his powers when he's able to levitate off the ground, but in reverse, where he's sticking to it. Like I said, he doesn't know if he's if it's more like a magnet, he's sticking to it, or if it's more like a suction cup. But that's why. Like I said, this is also kind of why I'm kind of questioning if this counts as a quirk awakening or just him using his power, or just some of his power could already do. Because he mentions how he might have been doing this completely unknowingly, when he's trying to do sharp turns or really sticking to the ground when it's on a windy day. So yeah, so like I said, with that, I'm kind of confused. It's kind of fun. We see Koichi keep leveling back, and I don't know if it's written like this because I'm pretty sure by the time around the time when this manga, because you guys remember this initially started production around 2017 was when the manga was when the Vigilantes started publishing, and obviously it went on for a few years alongside the main series, but obviously it ended way before the main series concluded. So I'm not sure if it was written like this to be because quirk awakenings weren't technically a thing at this point yet. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure if this is if these are actually a quirk awakening, but it's just written to number because it's written in a way where it wouldn't be that because that didn't technically exist or wasn't introduced into the series at this point yet. So I don't know. Whatever the case may be, Koichi has now unlocked a new power. So, they finally get to Osaka, he literally sticks to a random wall site and show them, but look, I can stick to walls, I can crawl walls now. I love these two, man, seriously. And then she's like, yeah, that's cool, but can you keep it down until we get back home? I think you've already made enough sense. So then we cut over to some random crook being chased down by Fat Gum Man. Great to hear Kyle Hebert once again, man. And we also found that apparently Fat Gum is bulletproof because this dude pulls out the 9mm, shoots at Fat Gum, but the bullet just kind of goes in there, spins around for a bit, then just falls to the ground, man. So I guess or maybe maybe before it gets a hand gets bulletproof, but if you threw a rocket launcher at him or you just kept firing with a machine gun, you probably would eventually get through it, but it probably would take a while. But yeah. So we finally get to see Fat Gum introduced into the Vigilantes with a new costume and everything, man, which is pretty cool. And so, by the way, while those go down, he actually had this massive plate of takoyaki with him that he was eating right before when he started to chase after this guy. So he gets to him, man, and he's like, I'm gonna get you back with interest, and then flicks his forehead 6 times. The dude is confused, what, bro, I only hit you once. And then we find out what this is actually about, is because he made him get rid of his takoyaki that he is I think it was 36 pack of takoyaki that he himself said he hardly put a dent in. But our boy Koichi came in clutch and was able to save the plate of takoyaki. It literally looked like that scene from Spider-Man 1 when he grabs MJ, man, then does that thing with the tray to make sure Oliver everything else on her tray is still on her tray, catches it all. It was literally that with Koichi with this plate of takoyaki, which I thought was pretty funny. Whether or not that's supposed to be a direct reference to Spider-Man or not, I wouldn't be surprised if it is, man, but I'm not entirely sure. But that is pretty cool. So then he's like, so as an apology to this guy, Fat Gum decides, hey man, here, let me get it, and he like literally gives him like 6 pieces of takoyaki. He's like, here you go, apologies with interest, and literally just shoves them all in his mouth. Now, I'm sure you guys, if you guys ever watch this review, you have watched your fair share of anime, or maybe you've actually gotten to try takoyaki. I unfortunately have not, or you've been to Japan or whatever. You would know that takoyaki is famously very hot, and you can very easily burn your mouth on it. He's, like I said, he put 6 pieces of takoyaki and just shoved it in. This dude's mouth is gonna have 3rd-degree burns by the time the cops find him. This poor guy, his mouth is being incinerated, eviscerated by this takoyaki, man. R.I.P. to this dude's mouth, man, because you know he's going to have some massive burns from that takoyaki, bro. Like, seriously, man. Oh, that had to have been painful, man. Just having 6 pieces of takoyaki shoved in your mouth. Like, bro didn't even try to cool him down. He just shoved him in there, man. So then Koichi and Fat Gum are talking for a bit. They tell him about he's going to the mall, and like, oh yeah, keep going on this street, man. You'll reach the mall in no time, man. Fat Gum almost seems like he's working with like the cops on like this on this operation to try and catch number 6 or like this shipment of trigger or whatever, but he doesn't. But he almost lets it say, he's like, oh wait, I can't tell about that. So he's like, anyway, keep following this when you reach the mall. Go have fun, kids. So he walks away as they finally get to the mall. Koichi and Pop get to the backstage area with the rest of the idols here, man. And he's like, and Koichi, I love Koichi, man. He says, oh wow, there's so many weirdos here. And Bill's like, you can't say weirdos. So then we get introduced to one of the new characters, I'm assuming, for Vigilante Season 2, Monica. Her whole gimmick is this crap thing she does, man. And so they kind of talk for a bit. They talk for a bit, and then she kind of goes on to someone else and does the whole same act with them. And then Koichi mentions how she comes up very energetic. Koichi just pops out, maybe we should add like a little gimmick or catchphrase to your act. She's like, I don't think it's that kind of act. So then we get to some, I'm assuming like some sort of storage area in wherever building they're in. This is when Fat Gum meets up with Sukeuchi and some of the other police officers that are stationed there, man, as they continue on their stakeout. So Fat Gum and Sukeuchi again introduce themselves. We see them, he's in front of as like 3 guys in front of some monitors watching security cameras, and then Sukeuchi knows a Pop step, and he's like, hey, can y'all keep an eye on her? I'm like, damn, bro, our girl Pop get out here getting racially profiled. Anyway, so yeah, whatever. We see Pops make her do her routine for this one. Once again, undubbed song. I think it's safe to say at this point the songs are not getting dubbed. Nice. But yeah. Then she says her goodbye. Of course, you got all Pop's fans in the front of the stage, man. Oh, with their glow sticks and everything, man. So she gets all saying Koichi wraps like a towel or maybe her robe on top of her, man. I'm not entirely sure what exactly he put over her shoulders, but he put something over her shoulders. They start to like travel to see the rest of the other vendors going on at this mall at the time. Then we get reintroduced to Monica, excuse me. And actually, I literally just saw this on Twitter, but we actually have the casting announcement for Makoto. Let me see if I can find the tweet. I literally just saw it like right before I started recording again today. Yeah, here we go. She's played by someone by the name of Kayla Temshiv, if I pronounce that right. I feel like I'm not, but yeah, that's the woman that is voicing that's voicing Monica in Vigilantes. I literally just saw this earlier today, like right before I started recording. I want to make sure I mentioned before I forgot. So she is now in this fucking crab mech. That's literally, she's like, oh, we need a mascot suit. I'm like, bitch, that is a fucking mech. That is not a mascot suit. That is a fucking mech. What kind of mall, a shopping mall of this, has the budget to create a fucking mech? I don't know where they get this from, but she starts like going off into like, because one of the guys tells her, hey, it's up, yeah, you're up next. It said get on stage. Then her stomach starts giving her issues, so she leaves and runs over to the bathroom. While this is going on, The next people that are on stage right now, they finish up their set and they go around. The guy that she was with, I'm assuming, is like maybe the owner of this mall, or at least maybe a manager or someone higher up, maybe some sort of managerial position of it, is like looking at his watch. He's getting kind of nervous because he still isn't back yet from the bathroom. They're about to get on stage, which also, this dude sounds very familiar, but I couldn't place his voice. I think it's the guy that voices Akira or whatever his name was from Tokyo Ghoul. You know, the psycho CCG officer, the one that like that stole Hinami's mom that like took her Kagane and used this whole thing and said, bounce, bounce, rascally rabbit. Yo, that guy. I think it's the same V8 for this guy. I'm not 100% sure, but if any of you guys are for certain, leave it down below in the comments if I'm right or not, because I think it's the same guy. Which, if it is, I have not heard that dude's voice in a fucking minute, man. It's been a long time since I've heard him in something. But I think it's him. I might be wrong, though. Anyway, we then cut over back to Ayazawa as he takes out a couple crooks. He corners them, they get hopped up on Trigger, and literally they transform into Kamen Rider. That's literally what they are. These two are fucking Kamen Rider. The mask is the same. They got the antennas. They even got the fucking scarf. They are Kamen Rider. They turn into Kamen Riders, and they even do like the posing. They do the Kamen kick. They do everything. But of course, Ayazawa uses the Razor Curse to get rid of all that, and just immediately immobilizes them and captures them with his scarf. So we then flash back to where he met up with Tsukita as Midnight, where he tries to recruit him in there to help him take on this new version of Trigger, this like higher, this now even stronger version of Trigger than they're calling Hero Factories that turn people go crazy, which is probably similar to the same shit that the eel guy probably got injected with in season 1. I would assume so. Probably like an updated version of that if I had to guess. And he says no because he's not a PI. Even though it's literally what he's doing now. Maybe Midnight Man to get him to change his mind. That's what we're watching him do right now. I'm not entirely sure. But whatever the case may be, Midnight Man is like, why would you say no? You guys are from the same area. We need your help. And there's someone you're connected to the underworld, etc., etc., etc. So after he captures them both, he tells that this is completely off the books. I'll say that I say this is all done self-defense. The way you trigger is still a legal gray area. He's trying to butter them up to make sure to make them that they'll be more willing to talk. They see right through his genjutsu and they say they're not talking. Then he shows them a picture of this giant grasshopper guy, which I think we saw back in season 1 with Koichi, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong though. And they immediately start singing. Like, oh, yo, that's our boy, man. Where have you seen him? And then we literally cut to them. I'm assuming like whatever restaurant or building or like establishment they own, and they're literally all just chilling around together, drinking coffee. Aizawa got away with words, man. He's got these two crooks he literally just beat up a minute ago, and now they're all just chilling, drinking coffee. So as they're chatting with a friend, we learned that he was using a new phone trigger that had some uppers in it that really just fucked you up. Which, like I said, I think is connected to what obviously was Shikuchi's looking for, and probably connected to what turned, the eel guy into that hulked up, Nomu kind of thing going on with him. So I'm so concerned. So we find out actually as they're conversing, we found these two are actually these two work in pharmaceuticals with hair thinning and erectile dysfunction. Though in the show it's called ED. I don't know if in the Japanese it was also just called ED or if it was called erectile dysfunction with the mouth flaps. I had to change it to ED or something. Not entirely sure how it worked in the Japanese, but yeah. So we found that the guy with the hat is balding, while the other guy with the hoodie it says his hopper ain't hopping, so he can't get his dick up. Kind of funny. Eyes on, so they even have a license to practice to sell pharmaceuticals. They start freaking out. So probably so that's what they do. We then cut back over to the mall where we see now Popstep is now the one controlling the mech, and we find out that Monica isn't actually their idol, but rather just an employee they have that is really good at convincing people to sell, that's really good at selling their products. So we find out that she's actually an undercover cop. To end the episode off with, she's like talking with Fat Gum, and she's like, I'm a knockout. Fat Gum's like, you should be worried you're telling a joke now. And that's basically where the episode ends, with her running over to check on the storage backs on the back end of this to see what the crab track thing is about. See if they can find maybe that's where the trigger is being supplied or being shipped or whatever. Now the ED. Now you guys remember I said the OP was like the OP kind of failed to compared to season 1's OP. Not the same with the ED. The ED I would dare say is better than season 1 1's ED. First of all, man, I love the callback back to Season 2's OP with All Might, like, with All Might flying through the air. First, I thought they just straight up reused the drawings right here, but when I went back to the OP, it looks slightly different than how it did Season 2, so I don't think they just straight up reused the drawings and then just change the compositing of it, man. I don't think they reused the Gengas were reused. They might have been, because it's very similar. They just extended it a little more. I'm not entirely sure, but it looks very similar. So I would not be surprised if they actually did just straight up reuse the Gengas from that OP in this episode and just change the compositing of it and maybe like recorrected them to fit Vigilante style. Not entirely sure, but that was a cool call bit with Koichi. I also love this is like a 4x3 record. One thing I've noticed recently, and I'm happy to see that a lot more EDs have been doing this recently. I love just chill EDs that are just a vibe, man. This, Jujutsu Kaisen's Season 2, second ED, man. I love EDs like that are just a chill vibe with the characters, man. They're so cool. They're always directed really well, man. I love the songs that usually go and accompany this one. This one was no different. I love the look of this ED, man. Love the song, and yeah, just a banger ED, man, on all front, man. I love this ED. And that leads us when the episode ends. Next week looks like we're gonna have the raid actually commence. We're gonna see more of number 6 seemingly in this episode, as well as Pop just going crazy with this crab mech thing. So that should be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, guys, look at this episode 8.5 out of 10, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow us if you like it. The links are across below, and it's always back for more. See you guys next time. 静かに